Hello and welcome back to RC Icons. So in this video we want to get the body and decals done for the PB Mini Mustang. So we built this car, I don't know, a week or so ago, and the build was absolutely awesome. One of my favorite builds to date. Just such a different design and different materials, the plastics, everything about it was just different and it was fun. I absolutely had a blast building it. I don't say that about every car, but this one absolutely, definitely in my top 3. So yeah, just a great build, fun, interesting. I mean, literally using a ratchet and C-clip pliers and, you know, every tool in the book. Everything needed to be measured. The directions were a little bit difficult to work through, so it was like satisfying figuring it out. Yeah, it was just cool. It was fun. So in this video, the intention is we got to get the body cut out. We got to get it mounted. We got to get the wing cut out. We got to get it mounted. We got to figure out the rest of the car. I don't even know if it has a wing, to be honest. I don't think it does. So PB's funny because they use this box, and this looks like the Mini Mustang body, although I don't know that the Mini Mustang has a wing. We'll have to look when we bring the camera over. We still have to get the gear cover cut out. That's in with the body. I didn't want to take it out just because it's all sealed. So we got to get the gear cover cut out, mounted. We're going to get it painted up. I haven't decided yet what colors we're going to do. I'm still trying to figure that out. But when the time comes, we'll figure that out, and then we want to get it decaled. Now the decals, because this is more along the lines of like a race car, like the RB5, the decals are very simple. There's no livery to them. It's literally just, you know, PB Racing, Mini Mustang, that kind of stuff. So not a whole lot of sponsorship or a livery, so to speak, like a character car would be. So it's really free reign. It's free reign for us to do pretty much whatever we want. So yeah, that's the intention for this video. And then depending on the color of the body, we may do some tire writing. So the tires for the kit are Dynamite Racing tires, and it does have raised lettering, and it's almost all the way around the wheel. So Dynamite takes up one half of the wheel, and the Racing takes up almost the other half, the whole other half. So the tire writing, although the letters are narrow, they're big. So it really would look cool to get some tire writing done, and as long as we can incorporate, I'm thinking black with yellow and orange stripes, and then maybe doing the tire writing in yellow. That's kind of what's going through my head. I think that would be all right with the red wheels. I think all of those colors go great with black. So we'll have to delve into it at the time. We'll delve into it, maybe look at some pictures online, and we'll kind of figure it out. So let me bring the camera over real quick. I'll show you the chassis. Absolutely gorgeous, just such a cool car. But I'll get you an up-close shot of the chassis, and then we'll take a look at the body and the decals, and then we'll get started. We'll start cutting the body out and get going on it. So let me bring the camera over.
So, in this episode, we want to get the body done. Just want to show you. It doesn't give you any cut instructions, any directions at all, other than it tells you to paint the Lexan body shell. It tells you to use Hobby Knox or Parma paints. And it says that it's very brittle and other paints won't adhere. But it doesn't give you any decaling instructions. So those are our decals. Like I said, they're just very generic. Doesn't really give you a box art. So that is the PB body, or a drawing of it, at least. It does have cut lines on the body. then the other thing we have to do, not that it's a big deal, we got to get the gear cover cut out. So the body looks like it's in decent shape. There is a little bit of rub right there and right there, is what it is. I don't even know if anyone does reproduction bodies of the PB cars, so we'll get this cut out. It doesn't give you any reference lines on the body mounts. So, oh, it does. There is one mark at the top. Looks like there's a dimple, but not in the front. So we'll have to get it set and mark those marks on the outside after we get it cut out, and then the cut instructions or the cut lines are very faint. Looks like it may come all the way down. So I'm gonna get started on cutting this out, and I'll bring you back here in a second, and hopefully we'll have it cut out and mounted. And then I'm gonna go with that paint scheme, or I may Google real quick and see if there's something else that strikes my fancy. But I like the look of this, and I think it would look good with either like yellow, red, and black, or yellow, orange, and black, and maybe a red pinstripe on the outside to tie in the wheels. And then it's got a racing stripe on the roof and on the back and on the front here, which can very easily be achieved with tape. I'm still trying to get my airbrushing booth set up. I'm still dealing with winter. So it snowed here. It's April 1st. It snowed here last night where I am in the US. It's raining today all day, so hopefully it'll burn some of the snow, but the ground is still 70% covered in snow, so still dealing with some cold weather, which is kind of hindering me getting my airbrushing station going, only because it direct vents outside when I set it up, and that means having a window open to get the vents in place, and I don't want a window open when it's 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So still struggling a little bit in that sense. Definitely looking forward to getting going with the airbrushing part, but kind of is what it is. Mother Nature's got me on hold. So I'll bring you back here in a second when I have this thing cut out and hopefully fitted. Alright, so it's been, I don't know, 45 minutes. Gear cover is on. No cut lines on the gear cover, so you gotta, not that you guys, maybe somebody's building one, but you have to really take your time. Little doses, and then the pins are adjustable, so I had to adjust them out just a hair so that I could get to the actual eyelets on the pin holders, and it thing's awesome, nice and tight. The body, it came out fine. The cut lines would go from a cut line and fade out to nothing, and then you'd find another one back here, so you kind of have to connect the dots and just take your time, which is what I did. And then fitment of it, is good. I know it's hard to see because it's clear, but fits the car perfect. So next step is going to be masking. So I'm gonna mask the windows off, and then I'm gonna get my design masked off. I think I'm going to do a 3-stripe, yellow, orange, red, and then the rest of the body will be black. And then that way I don't have to mess around with pinstriping to get the red to come into the rest of the body. Sorry. And then probably use the white decals, the white lettering, and I think that will look sharp. So I'm gonna get it cleaned real quick and start the masking process, and I'll bring you back with something to see. Might be black paint, might not. I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna get started. Okay. Sorry, I need a sip of coffee. You guys know I'm not a professional. I'm winded, I'm tired. It's been 3 hours, 3.5 hours to mask it. Now, you guys really can't make sense of the masking, but I masked it in a way that I can peel layers from my next color. Peel layers, and then I masked over the seams. So essentially what I did is there'll be a 10 mil line of either red or yellow. I haven't decided if I'm going to do yellow on the outside and then maybe yellow in the middle up here. Probably yellow on the outside. Then, so 10 mil strip of masking tape will be yellow. 10 mil strip of masking tape will be orange. Same on this side. And then I had to make sure that I was getting my points landing in the same spot on my angles, because believe it or not, the body is not perfect. The 10 mil will run down the side here and turn into a 30 mil. Is it 30 or 18? 18 mil stripe down the side of the body here, so that yellow will turn 8 and come down 18. The orange will turn 8 and come down 18. And then the red is essentially the same, except the red is this whole intersection here, and then there's a small little V that ends up in the middle. It looks like the point of the red is directly in line with the center of the body or my body hole. So that matches on both sides. So essentially 10 mil yellow down to 18, 10 mil orange down to 18, and then the center part is red down to 18 on the red. That's the front stripes. Then I masked the windows, which were a total pain in the butt because you can't get your hand in here. I've got paws and I'm dealing with, not even 2 inches of space to try to get a knife in there to cut or what have you. So that was a pain in the rump. The rear stripes, what I did was I took a piece of 10 mil and on the outside I laid it right down the middle of the body. So you can see that one is right down the middle. Then I turned it over and matched it with one on the inside. And then I put a 10 mil next to it, a 10 mil next to it, a 10 mil next to that, and a 10 mil next to that. So essentially I'll have yellow, orange, red on the outside, all 10 mil stripes, all perfectly spaced and aligned. And then I drew on the roof with a marker so that I could get the cutout. Doesn't sound like a lot, but to get all that done, 3 hours minimum, maybe 3.5. So I'm ready to wash the body again and get the black painted on. Now all of those stripes that I did right next to each other, I put a piece of tape down the seam, just so that all my seams are covered and I'm not going to have any leaking. But I should be able to take the seam tape off and then pull a color off. Take the seam tape off, pull the cover off. Of course, it's all going to be black, so I'm not going to be able to distinguish what tape is what. But hopefully it will work out for me. At this point, I need to wash the inside. I need to protect the outside. So the whole outside needs to be masked off at this point, and then the inside cleaned. But I wanted you to at least see the amount of masking on the body. It's a fair amount. This is a one-shot deal, right? It's an original body on a PB Mini Mustang. I think Penguin does a PB Mini Mustang aftermarket body. I'm not sure. But it's not what I want to put on an original car. I want this body on the original car. So let's hope this goes okay. Because it's not like the RB5 where I could just order another body. I don't have that luxury. So hope for the best. I'll probably bring you back. I'm not sure if I'll bring you back mid-paint or not. I may just push through it. The paint work at the very least. So I may bring you back and the body is completely painted and we're just going to get the decals. So I'm sorry if you want to see the rest of it. Maybe I'll bring you back real quick, but I don't want the video to get out of hand. So I'll see you in a second. So since I left you last, I've got the car painted. It's not in camera yet. I did the tire writing. Came out great. Kind of hard to keep the paint pen on those little ridge letters. If anyone's familiar with Dynamite Racing, it's their letters are a little bit tough in that it's just a tiny little raised line. So you really have to take your time. People ask all the time what we use for tire writing. I say we. I know Glenn uses the same. Most people use the Sharpie Ultra Fine. Is it Ultra Fine? Extra fine tip paint pens. I do have a question for you in the comments for the guys that do use them. How the heck do you get more than one use out of them? I feel like no matter how much I shake them, I use them once, the tip gets dry, and then you start pushing down on it to get the paint to come out, and you end up soaking the nib. It all pours out the sides, so it's almost like a one and done kind of deal. I was almost thinking of wrapping the nib up in this one's still working, but in like a wet towel so that the nib doesn't dry out, so that the paint can still flow back down. 2 weeks from now when I'm doing tire writing again, I feel like I pay whatever $6-8 for a pen and I use it once and it's garbage. This one is no good. This one I just did on this and it's been 2 days and it's still hydrated. But if you guys have a tip, let me know in the comments how you keep the nib moist so that the next time you use it, whatever, a month later, it's not dried up and it will take the paint. So, body time. The body is painted. When I left you last, I was talking about trying to do something like this in yellow and orange, and it's got a stripe in the back. I probably should have looked at the picture and done it more like this, but I did end up painting it like that, and I did add red to it. So you guys will have to tell me what you think in the comments. So in the picture, they left this section black, and they did the stripes here, and they did the stripes on the roof. I just took it all the way through the car. It might be a little bit too much, but I think it came out pretty good. Now, I do have to confess, the separation lines between the paint is line tape. So I actually got pretty crisp lines between the red, orange, and yellow when I did the paint, but it needed the black separation lines, and of course you don't realize that till after you're done the paint. So next, if I were to do it again, of course this is an original body and I'm not going to strip it down and do it over, so I just did the line tape trick, and now I'll get it decaled up with the white decals. I could always use the red decals too, maybe a mix between the red and the white, but I'm going to use maybe even some of the black. We'll have to see, but now it's to decal it up, get some of these decals on the car. There's plenty of them there, so we should be able to pull it off. And with there not being a wing, it's not going to take a lot. So line tape, very easy to find line tape online. You can find it in an art store. Right, so this is just art tape. It's 3/16 this one thick, which is probably like 2 mil, if I had to guess. This one I ordered online. I think this is the art tape. I think this one's the art tape. This is 1/16 of an inch. Like no name brand, just cheapy stuff. When it comes to RC cars, you can take all of this and throw it in the trash. Garbage. I'm telling you right now, for all of you that watch my stuff, if you're gonna use line tape, the only way to go is Kyosho. They sell it in 1.5 mil, 1 mil, 0.7 mil, 0.3 mil. They've got various sizes. They call it micron tape. I've got 1 mil here. I've got 1.5 mil. And I think I've got 0.7 here. 0.3 is really hard to actually work with because it's just so thin. So that's 1.5 mil line tape on there right now. And it sticks. It does not come off. You can decal right over it. You don't have to worry about it coming off. Do yourself a favor. Don't try to save money with garbage that's not meant for RC bodies. Use Kyosho line tape. You'll wish you had just bought the real thing, because you'll spend whatever, $3, $5 on this stuff, and it's not going to work. And then you go spend whatever, $10, $12 on this, and now you're into it for 17 because you already dropped 7 or whatever on that, and it's garbage. It's not going to work. It just does not stay on over time. You will put it on and come back 2 days later and it's all messed up, if it even makes it 2 days. So I'm going to cut out some decals and finish this thing off, and I'll bring you back for the finished product here in a second, and we'll go from there. Back. All 5 decals are on. So they make it a little bit difficult for you. If you look at the decal sheet, they give you one big PB Racing, which essentially would go on like a wing. They give you one small Mini Mustang, not small, but like a medium-sized Mini Mustang. So can't use the PB Racing on one side of the car. I don't have a matcher. Same with this one. They gave you 2 of the smallest Mini Mustangs in white, and they give you 2 of the smaller PB Racings in white, and then they give you some PB logos. But even like if I wanted to do 2-speed, they make these 3 2-speed, but they only give you 1 of each. And then these 3 2-speed, but again, they only give you 1 of each. 4-wheel drive, they give you 1. So it's like, and they're not the same size as the other ones. So you can't mirror image the car. Makes it very hard. And I don't want to put the 2-speed on the car because it's not a 2-speed yet. We'll get to that in the closing. So, PB Racing, Mini Mustang, a PB on the front in white, like coffee. PB Racing Mini Mustang on the side, and a black PB on the top in the back. And that's it. I'm not putting anything else on there. I think less is more with this one. I think the paint does the trick. Just a very retro looking paint job. This car feels great. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for this one. I'm not putting any more decals on it. I think it looks good. Very different style of paint job, very retro looking, and very simple decals. Tells you what the car is. I didn't even put any sponsorship on there. Just gonna leave it alone. So I'm gonna say clean up, but there's really not much to clean up. I'm gonna get this stuff put away, and I'll bring you in for a closing. Garbage.
So that's going to do it for this episode of RC Icons. I hope you guys enjoyed the PB build, or the first PB build. We still have the Maxima to do, which is cool as hell. 2-speed. So I said in earlier video that I had been talking with Jason over at True Vintage, and that me building this kit kind of spurred him into getting his down. So he was showing me all the 2-speed parts that he has, and of course this was a few days ago. Well, I got a message from him this morning. He's got a brand new 2-speed for me that one of his friends in Australia had. Sold it to Jason, and Jason is sending it to me. So thank you, Jason. So yeah, we have a 2-speed coming for this thing, and it's brand new. All the parts are individual in the package. He's like, do you want me to assemble it for you? I said, well, I'd really like to be able to assemble it if possible. I said, but I'm going to need instructions. He told me that he'd get me a set of instructions for it. So yeah, we get that to look forward to. So we'll see this car again. I haven't decided if I'm going to put the 2-speed on this one or the Maxima. Either way, we'll figure it out, and it's going to be fun to mess with it. I think he's giving me 2 or 3 different gear options for it, so should be cool as hell to see what that 2-speed's all about. You guys will have to tell me in the comments what you think of my retro paint. I think it looks great. It's just very different. Period correct, I would say. 1986, 1987. I think it looks good. So I can't wait to get my airbrush going though, because doing this kind of paint work with spray cans, it just lays so much paint in there. It makes it really hard. A lot of cleaning of the lines and stuff on this as I was painting through it, and I ended up with crisp lines. I needed some black in between, and that's hard to do with paint. I mean, you literally would have had to, I would have had to mask and remask like 3 or 4 times, and I don't have that kind of time. Whereas if I was airbrushing, it would be liquid mask, and it's a heck of a lot easier to work with. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It's cool. It looks great. I like the tire writing. So yeah, you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think of the PB Mini Mustang, and let me know, like I said, on the nibs, how to keep them moist so that I'm not using a brand new pen every time I do tire writing, and then it's no good. I would appreciate it if you could subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, if you could support the channel by subscribing, that would be absolutely awesome. Another way you can do that is to leave a like click. If you don't like my paint work and you don't like the Mini Mustang, leave a thumbs down. That's fine. I'm good with everything. The fact that 1,000 of you tune in almost every video to watch this craziness is absolutely unbelievable in my humble opinion. So I do appreciate you all, and I thank you for tuning in to this build. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks.